Hi, this is Marky from the Discord, and I want to show you how I insert one animation definition from an anim.zbd file to another file to transfer the animation of, like, say, the death animation of a certain tank into another mission that previously didn't have it. So, um, first of all, let me show you the problem. Pretty sure you already know, but I just want to make sure. Let's cheat a little bit. So I inserted one of the tanks from a later mission, and you can see it's the Arc Saber tank. I inserted this one into M1, and it all worked pretty well. With as you remember, I wrote a new script that allows me to completely copy the game Z mesh and all of its textures into the game, into another mission. But the problem is when you kill it, it doesn't explode. So there's an explosion, a generic explosion, but this one it doesn't disappear when it explodes, and that's a problem. So it's it's really physically there. You can't destroy it anymore. It's here, and yeah, this doesn't really look good. So hey, fuck you. This doesn't really look good. So we have to find another way, and until we have decoded the animation files, I have found another way that we can use, and I will show you right now. So first of all, I want to show you something that Sundar basically did. He figured a lot of stuff out. I don't know, can you see this right now? Yes, okay. So this is his documentation of the anim.zbd files. He uh, documented all of this when he reverse engineered MechWarrior 3. The files are a lot different from Recoil's files, so we can't really transfer this one to one, but there are also a lot of similarities, so this is really helpful. Basically, this describes how the file format is the complete structure of the file. And you can see it's a lot of complicated stuff. I don't know how he did it. It's crazy to me, but still, props to him, I think. So at first you have a header and a table of content with a lot of strings that you can actually see in the files. This is not really interesting to us because from my experience this doesn't matter when I add another animation definition. I don't have to change anything in the header and in the table of content, but I can show you what matters, and this is the animation definitions information is what he calls it. There we have another table of content. This is this structure, and you can also see this is quite interesting. The gravity constant. I think if we change this, then the gravity of the game will change. So if you remember back in the day, or some games had cheats to disable gravity or enable moon gravity. I think we can do this here. I haven't tried it yet, but I think it would be fun. But what's really interesting right now is the animation definition structure. So an animation definition structure, this is just the basic animation definition structure, or try saying that 3 times. And it always starts with the animation name, and then it gets another name. This is basically the structure that you see in the reader files for animations. Not quite, because you don't have all of the pointers, and also this will get a lot more complex. As you can see on the side here, you can see there's a lot of other nodes that you have to think about when doing all of this. And also here's separately secret events and stuff. I don't know, this is crazy. So that's also the reason why this is not decoded right now. But let me show you something. This is I want to show you how I work with just this information that we got here. So let's switch to HXD, because HXD is like a hex editor. And you can see I've already preloaded anim.zbd from M1 and anim.zbd from M4. And here you can basically see this is what the file looks like in its raw data. This is all of the raw data. And here you can see sometimes even the strings, they get converted, so you can actually read them. And all of this data is what you have to figure out to work with the file. Okay, but we want to talk about the animation definitions. Animation definitions basically start after these paths. There's the table of content, I think it's around here. And then we get the first animation definition, and this is this one. It's called PU double 000, and it stands for pickup, the first pickup. And from my experience, the game Z node is also called the same as the animation. I don't know if this is correct, but this is what I found. And when we go back to the documentation, you can actually see that there's the name, the animation name, then you have the name, then you have a pointer, and next you have another animation name. So the animation root basically, and I think this is also a string because you can see it's basically 32 bytes. I can show you actually. So okay. So here's the first name. It starts right here because this is the first byte of the structure, and it's 32 bytes long. Here you can see the length in hex is 20, but I think this is basically 32 decimal bytes. Next we have another name, and this is animation name, and then the normal name. This is also 32 bytes long. And then you have a 4-byte pointer, and this is this one here. And on the right, I don't know if I hope you can see my cursor. On the right you can see, like Sundar described, this is a U32, so basically this number here is the pointer. This is not important for us, but the next thing is again 32 bytes of the root name. And yeah, so I know this is the animation definition. And the Arc Saber tank, it's called just Arc in the game Z file. So what I do is I will search for Arc in this file, and you can see I have a lot of hits right here. Some are called Kill Arc, there's a lot of Kill Arc, Arc Light, but there's also this one, and it's called Arc. And here is where the animation definition for the Arc Saber tank starts. Basically 32 bytes of the Arc name, then again 32 bytes of this, of the animation name, and no, animation name not, but the normal name, I don't know, and 4 bytes for the pointer, and then the first root animation name. This is in this case it's called healthy. Anyway, this is where it starts. Here, right before the first letter. And yeah, what we do now is we select the complete sequence, the complete structure, just before the next animation structure starts. And so you can scroll and scroll, and from my experience I know that some of the last animations that are called in an animation structure for tanks is Deadman 1 FLT. I think this is the Deadman, the animation that plays when the tank gets destroyed and the clone gets thrown out of the tank. I think this is what this is called. And after this we can see drone and drone. This is the next animation, and it starts right here. So we select everything until this point and just do Control C and copy it. Next, I go over to M1 anim.zbd, and here we have to insert what we just copied. And I think it doesn't really matter where you insert it, as long as it's here between all of the structures. You have to insert it obviously between one structure and another, so not in the middle of one structure, but between two structures. So for simplicity's sake, I think we can search for drone, because I know M1 has drones, so we can just put it there. As you can see, the drone structure starts right here. And what I'm going to do is I will just paste this right here. So now I will just Control S to save. And what we have to do now, I think, is we have to modify the table of content for this, because let me show you. Okay, sorry OBS, I don't really know how to work with this. There's a table of content here, and there's one field in the table of content that's called count, and this is basically this tells the file how many animation definitions are in there, and we just added one, so we have to increase this counter, and I will show you how to do that. So before all of the animation definition starts, there's the table of content. So let's go up. Here you can see the strings from the ZRD files, and here's the first animation definition. And right up here is where the counter, the table of content is. And you can compare it with Sundar's documentation, but for simplicity's sake, I will just tell you what is the counter here, because the counter is these 2 bytes. I know this because I compared it to the documentation, and in this case the counter is 444. So what I will do is I will increase it to 445. And that's basically it. So when we save the file now, and I will change it back to my recoil scene to show you what's happening. So let's see here. Everything works, as you can see. And also here is Mr. Tank Guy. So let's just destroy this. And as you can see, he exploded, he's gone, we have fire. Everything is fine. And he's nowhere to be seen. So if we do this for all tanks, I almost killed myself. If we do this for all tanks, then I think we can create mission 1 with a lot more tanks.